Hey, it's Travis with Oscar Mike Radio, number 228 on February 4th, I believe. Yep. And I have one of these unique opportunities. And this is the best part about doing this show. I have my guest, Sara Smith, who's an Army veteran and done a lot of cool stuff, but she's doing and embarking on a journey up the Appalachian Trail. Sara, welcome to Oscar Mike Radio.
Thank you.
It is like here ladies and gentlemen, I just found out about this like 2 months ago, and we're like talking about you leaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to kind of give people an idea of who you are, I mean, you grow up in the Massachusetts area, the New England area?
Yes, I was born in New Hampshire, grew up in Massachusetts, and then I was stationed in North Carolina and came back up here. So I guess most of my life I've been in the
Okay.
area.
And you were in the Army, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What'd you do in the Army?
I was a 37 Foxtrot, which is a psychological operations specialist. And we did basically propaganda. I mean, that's what it's called. It's propaganda. We did basically like psychological warfare.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you don't have to touch the enemy and make them, bow to your will.
Yeah, pretty much.
She has that gleam in her eye, folks. I'm like, has she ever tried to mind mess with me before? Maybe. I don't know.
Quite possibly.
Wow, that's already having a weird effect on me. Oh my God. So, how do we get here, ladies and gentlemen? How do we get here to number 228 right now? We're on the weekly Mass Hole Vets Zoom call, which Sara and I are technically Mass Hole veterans. And it's, getting late. We're having a good time. All of a sudden, Sara says, "Hey, I'm going to go hike on the Appalachian Trail. Let me get all my stuff and show you what's going on." And I'm like, really? Because I wanted to do the Appalachian Trail at one time. Maybe I will, but that's a different story. So before we get to the good stuff here, kind of help me set up a little bit more. How did you get into hiking, and what's that like for you?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, as you know, I was in the army, and of course, we did a lot of hiking in the army, and yeah,
No, it's
it,
not hiking. It's forced marches, and
yeah,
they suck.
yeah, not as definitely not as much fun as hiking in civilian world, but um, for a few years after the army, I did not want to do any more of that. And I had a really rough year. I know we all did. But I had, a lot of stuff happen in my own personal life as well. And it was it was really tough for me. And I needed something to help get me back on my feet and kind of like literally and help me to I guess just get back into life. And so I started, one day I said, I think I'm going to go for a walk and walk down the street. And, it felt good to get out and get some exercise. And then I started hiking in the woods and, you know, I, and I really loved it. And then this summer I did a lot of hiking up in the White Mountains in
Oh
New
wow.
Hampshire. Yeah. And, I just realized, how much I loved it and how much I loved just being, out there in nature by myself and how, healing it was. And so I just started doing it more and more. And one day I just said, I'm going to do the ultimate hike. I'm going to hike I'm going to hike 2,200 miles on the Appalachian Trail. And yeah,
I'll start with just a simple walk down the street.
yeah, yeah. So,
So I'm curious, and let me play around here for a while. It seems like from our Mass Hall veterans talk to now that this isn't just hiking is not just something that you do for you're not trying to raise money or for a goal. I'm thinking there's something that really changes within Sara when you go hiking. So help me out here. Let's just say you and I are in the same car and we're going to, I don't know, to do Mount Monadnock, for example.
mhm.
What happens to you when you park the car, and take me from getting out of the car to when you go, say, 100 yards on the trail? What's going through your mind? How are you feeling?
Hmm. That's a good question. I would
All right.
say, I would say like, it's that feeling of being totally by myself with my own thoughts. And when I leave the car and I go down the trail and that's it. The car's gone. That's like the whole world. Just I leave it behind. And it's just such an amazing feeling of just being out there in nature and totally being away from all of that, the just being an adult and being out in the real world and having to deal with this and that, and it's just gone. And and I love it. I absolutely love it. And yeah.
So you get on, you shut your car door, you make sure your boots are all set, and you got your water and your Alice pack, right? Your military pack, right? Right, you use military gear to hike with, right?
Oh, yeah, because military gear is the best, right?
Yeah, we'll get into that later. But you're saying that as you step on the trail, and you might look back, and it really begins for you when you can't see your car anymore and you
Yeah.
can't see civilization.
Mhm,
What's it like when you are at that point? And I have to think, because I like being in the woods.
mhm.
There's that point, right, where the woods, you're part of the woods. The woods is part of you. You're part of something else now.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You can't see your car anymore, and you are just out in nature, and that's it. That's it. It's just the trees around you, quiet, the peacefulness. It's amazing. Yeah, I mean,
Have you ever hiked the same trail twice? Just out of curiosity.
local trails, yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, local trails, and they're not really like long distance hiking trails. It's like a few miles, there's one near me. It's
Well, the
Destruction Brook that I go on a lot, and but no, I haven't been on the long distance trails twice.
well, even though it's local trail, I want to like, does the trail change even though you've walked it before? You know what I mean? Does the experience different even though you've walked it before?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think it changes based on my mood, based on the things I'm thinking. So like sometimes I might notice like the kind of more, I guess, melancholy things on the trail. Like if I'm in a kind of a sad mood, if I'm in a happy mood, I notice the nicer, happier things, I guess. It's a different experience every time. And the weather, of course, changes. And so there's a lot of variation. I mean, I go or sometimes I can take like a different trail. It's like the same trail, but like there might be like a different way you can take it, or like a
Right.
different side trail or whatever.
Awesome. Awesome. So it's almost like therapy.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Well, we were describing kind of how I feel when I ride my motorcycle. Except there's no different thing, but I definitely understand where you're coming from. So you really like this. Is there any kind of trail you like doing more than another? Do you like going up hills and down hills? Do you like slogging through mud? I mean, some people, or here's the one thing. I went hiking with this person, and we pretty much ran the entire time. I'm like, this sucks. So
Yeah.
what's your favorite kind of hiking to do?
Yeah, it's funny because like I just moved to this area, which I live down near New Bedford, and it's very, of course, down by the ocean. It's very flat. And I thought I would love it around here because I'm thinking, I'm going to be right near the beach and everything. And then I realized, I'm kind of a mountain girl. I like the uphills and downhills. And so now when I go hiking around here, I really miss, climbing and getting to a peak where I can like see, everything around. And gosh, like I would say definitely I love like hikes where it feels like I'm kind of like working towards a goal, which is like to get to the top, so like I guess climbing a mountain and getting to the top and like seeing everything all around. So I guess that's kind of my favorite kind of trail is definitely climbing.
All right. Well, speaking of climbing and goals, I mean, you picked, I mean, what has to be, I think worldwide, it's one of the longest, if not the longest trails you can walk. I mean, what led you to that point to say, you know what, life's not challenging enough. I'm going to go for the big one.
That's kind of been my life philosophy. I was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire because I just had to do that, and I want to do everything I can before I die. Um, so I guess,
It's not a
that's just
bad
kind of,
thing.
no, it's not. I guess it's just how I am. I go big or I go home, and that's just always been the way I am. And it kind of, when I was hiking, and I said, I'm going to go do a longer hike. So I didn't just want to do like a 50-mile hike. I wanted to just go for like the longest thing I could possibly think of and do
Wait
it.
a minute. How did we go from 50 miles to almost 2,300 miles, Sarah?
I'm a person of extremes.
Darling, I don't know why I go to extremes. Fully Joe song.
Yeah.
That's free. Anyway, so you start picking the Appalachian Trail. Hey,
Yeah.
we're having a good time, folks. We're having a good freaking time. I
Yeah.
don't care. Um, you pick the Appalachian Trail, and that's in your mind. You talked about that. So then you have to get ready for it. Now, I would think that you have military grade equipment. I mean, you should be all set, right? Isn't that equipment like the best you can use?
That's the problem. I had military grade equipment.
So tell
Yeah.
us what the difference is between the Alice pack and the gear that you and I wore versus what REI and other places have.
Um, I would say disability payments.
Oh,
It's just, I'm sorry, but the military equipment we carried was not comfortable. It was not good at all. The stuff, they pay the lowest bidder and they don't care about weight. It's like you're going to carry it whether you like it or not. So, um, a lot of it's a lot heavier. Um, the stuff I got that I have now, I'm like, wait, why couldn't we just carry this in the military? It's like, seriously? We have let's see, I got the pack I have is way, way more comfortable than an Alice pack. I mean, it's just hands down, it's like you can't even compare.
really?
Yeah.
Is that much of an improvement?
Yeah, I would say so. It's an internal frame pack.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. The Alice packs, of course, were the external frame with the yeah. It's just not as comfortable at all, and it's I guess maybe comparable in weight, but it's not as comfortable.
so what about sleeping bags? Because I started off with a big, huge cloth, and these things got heavy, and they
Yeah,
really got fun when they got wet.
yeah,
I mean, and then we by the time I was done, we had the Gore-Tex ones, which were like, oh my God,
yeah. Did you have like the three-piece ones? Like it
yeah,
was like the yeah. You know what? Let me tell you, and I hate to say this, but those were good. They were really good. I mean, like as far as like insulation and stuff. I mean, um I was in WLC, which was the E5 course,
right.
and we stayed out. It was 6 degrees, and it was amazingly warm. Love it. I mean, like I sat up and my whole sleeping bag peeled off the ground because it was frozen to the ground, but I was warm. So I mean, it's good, but it's heavy. I don't know if you remember like how
Yeah,
heavy
it
it
wasn't
was.
wasn't light. So
No,
what's considered heavy in the civilian world?
my sleeping bag is considered extremely heavy, and I think it's like 3 pounds, and that's
What?
extremely heavy. That's extremely heavy. And I'm only doing it because I sleep really cold and I need something really warm. But yeah, and that's just and I'm actually planning on switching it out as soon as the weather warms up like consistently. I'm thinking of getting like a much warmer sleeping bag and or a much not warmer, but a much lighter sleeping bag, and sending the like colder weather one home. But
That's unbelievable. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you might not think 3 pounds is a big deal, but the ones that we had were like 12 pounds. They were
oh,
heavy,
it was ridiculous. Yeah.
especially when they got wet. And just sucks. So 3 pounds is amazing. So you've got a better
Yeah.
backpack. You've got a better
Mhm.
sleeping bag. I mean, what else is in your kit that you've gotten together to get ready for this?
Well, you need, well, you probably remember our sleeping mats,
Yeah,
the closed foam,
yeah.
like basically yoga mat kind
It's
of
a
looking
yoga mat.
things.
That's supposed to,
Yeah, yeah. I'm not doing that anymore.
really.
So yeah, so I have an inflatable one, and it really, like, it's only about like that thick,
Yeah.
but it really, I mean, it really feels very thick. It like you can't feel the ground under you. It's got a, they have like it's called like a R value,
Mm, yeah,
which
like
is like the rating of
yeah.
how much insulation it provides, and it's really comfortable.
Well, that foam impact foam stuff they gave us was all it did was just emphasize where the rocks and the sticks were even more.
Yeah, but did you get better at yoga? I mean,
You know, watching me do yoga, I've tried it, and watching me do it is, and I'm a weightlifter, right? And I thought, oh, this, I'll knock this out. I'm like, oh my God, mommy, save me! What the hell's going on?
so you didn't want to use it as your yoga mat?
No, no,
No,
no, no.
okay.
I had other ideas for it, like target practice.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably a good one.
So you have your pack and your mat and your sleeping bag. Now I
Hmm.
got to ask. I mean, how are you packing clothes? I mean,
I'm planning on, you're gonna basically, you go on the trail, you're gonna smell anyway. So I'm not packing like a separate outfit for every day. I am gonna have, layers that I can take off and put on as I get cold or warm or whatever. And I'm just planning on washing it every week or two, based on when I go into town. So yeah.
so going to the Ulta store is not on your itinerary.
Um, it might be at some point. We'll see.
Okay, I learned
It
all
might
about
get too cold.
I learned all about that last year with my sister, so that was very funny. Um,
Yeah.
Now you've got your sleeping arrangements in Maslow's hierarchy, and we got to get the shelter thing down. Oh, tent. So tent.
Yeah.
So in the military, we had these shelter halves, and you needed two buddies. Those were really light. Those were really high speed. Let me tell you. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
didn't the
Actually,
military
they were actually weren't bad, and a lot of the hikers use something very similar.
really?
They'll make like tents out of like tarps and stuff. So a lot of them do use that.
And it's
And they
heavy.
weren't all that bad, let me tell you.
Okay.
I mean, I am not using one of those. I actually just returned a tent. I was thinking of using one tent, which was an REI brand tent, and but like it was a pole tent. So you had to like put the poles in, you had to like set up the inner first and then the fly and everything. And it just took too long because like when I'm out on the trail and I'm in the middle of a storm, and I just want to get in and get dry as quickly as possible. I don't want to be messing with poles and inner and outer, the fly and everything. I just want to like get it set up and get in. So I found another tent, and it is, you just basically like put stakes in the four corners, and then we have like where is it? There it is. Like we have like trekking poles, like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we have these, and you just basically like put it put it to the right height, and you just like use them to prop up the tent, and you're done. So it's way easier, way faster to set it up. So got one of those instead.
All right, all right. So we got to take care about trekking poles now. I have a set for when I do go hiking, and to me, there's kind of like it's like four-wheel drive.
Hmm.
My arms really do help out getting my body going where it's going. Are you bringing those with you?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. They help with balance. They help with everything. Like definitely bring it with me. And of course, I set up my tent with them. So absolutely, they're coming with me. But like I didn't get an expensive set of poles because you can pay like $100 for them. I really
What?
just got like yeah, I just got like a $24 set of them on Amazon, and lots of hikers swear by them, and I've loved them so far. So
Awesome, awesome.
yeah.
So we got the shelter down, we got the sleeping arrangements down. You're gonna bring enough clothes to change into, and get in and out of when you need to. So we'll get to food last. How does water transport go? Because I didn't have the camelbacks when I was in. We had the canteens, and
Mm.
you could carry a gallon with you, but that water got heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, water is very heavy. Typically, you really only want to carry what you can use for that day. I mean, you have to like look ahead and see where the water sources are. But you're really not going to want to don't have to carry more than that. We carry this is my water filter, and
Oh, really?
this one actually like screws directly on. If you get like smart water bottles, you can screw it directly onto the smart water bottle, and you go to like a stream or a river, whatever you can find. Sometimes it's really not much more than a puddle, but you fill the bottle and you screw this on, and then you just squeeze it into another bottle, and it takes out all of the harmful bacteria and stuff. And so yeah, you filter your own water on the trail as you go.
So educate some people here, because I've tried telling people do not drink the water out of the stream or river. Oh, it tastes so sweet. It's so good for you. I'm like, no, there's all kinds of stuff in there. Animals poop and pee, and
Yeah, you
God
like
knows
giardia? Because that's how you get giardia.
what is
So
that. I don't know what that is. It sounds pretty bad.
it's a parasite. It's a yeah, it's a parasite. You don't want it. It causes diarrhea and stomach cramps and vomiting and all that fun stuff. You don't want it. You don't want
All right,
it.
so boil it or filter it.
Yes, boil or filter. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So you've got your water sources set. That's cool, because you got to hydrate or die. you
Hmm.
know when it comes to food choices, I gotta think that the average adult is about a 2,000 calorie day diet. Even depending upon body size and shape, we're going to call it 2,000 calories. I have
Hmm.
to think that you're going to be burning calories at a surplus. So how do you keep
Yeah.
your energy up? And because it's going to be important, right?
Yeah. When I went hiking this summer and did a lot of mountains, I wore my Fitbit, and it said I was burning something like something ridiculous, like 6,000 calories a day. It was a lot. It's a lot. I mean, you burn a lot more calories than if you're like just whatever. It's a very physically demanding exercise. So yeah. Um, Basically, I mean, you just you eat whatever you can to get the cal to keep to get enough calories. You look for the things that are like really calorically dense, like fats, things that don't weigh a lot but are really high calorie.
Yeah.
So like fats, somewhat of like carbs, a lot of carbs like pastas and stuff, rice, um, anything you can pack with you that you can dehydrate, or like uh dehydrate, or that just come in really like really high calorie density, like
All
caloric
right.
calorically dense, like
Yeah, sure,
yeah.
sure. So I mean, it's packed with stuff to help you burn, keep the engine going.
Yeah.
So that leads me, if you have food like rice or pasta, you got to be able to cook it somehow.
Hmm.
So I'm like, wait a minute, you can't like carry fire with you. I know that. So do you make a fire every night to cook with? How do you do that?
Yeah, a lot of places on the Appalachian Trail don't allow open fires, so you can't really always have like a campfire. Some people choose to go without a stove, and they just cold soak their food. So they just put it like whatever their dehydrated food is, they put it in like cold water and just wait a really long time for it to
That must be fun.
rehydrate. Yeah, yeah, and it doesn't taste real great either. I mean, some people can do it, I can't. Um, I'm going to be carrying a small stove with me that goes on a It's like a little gas canister. Um,
Really?
yeah, and
Well,
I'm also
how does that look?
uh,
I'm interested now.
right.
How big's the stove? I'm thinking like,
This is the stove, actually.
get out.
Yeah, yeah.
No way.
So yeah. So it folds. You just kind of pull it like that. And there's the like the pot. This is my cooking pot, and you just kind of put it on top like that and boil whatever water or whatever you need. But here is the show you the canister. Basically, it just screws onto the canister.
Get out.
Yeah, and come on. Mhm.
This is amazing. Like, I didn't think it was that small.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is like the whole cooking stove. This is the whole cooking setup.
Get out.
Yeah. And then you just put the pot on top like that and whatever.
Oatmeal, rice, pasta.
Oatmeal, rice, pasta, just boiling water for coffee or whatever. Yeah, whatever you need, you can make it on that.
Awesome, awesome. So that's your kit in a pack that's comfortable. It's not going to jack your shoulders up, that you're going to enjoy wearing while you're doing this. Are you bringing a camera or anything like that?
I am gonna bring the camera. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be posting on Instagram. Um, and I don't really know because I'm not really great at pictures. I've never like been like a great photographer, so I don't know. I'm kind of winging it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I'm not the greatest photographer, so we'll see.
Look, folks, we'll get her Instagram handle and we're going to get following her and cheer her on. This is great. So
Yeah.
you've got the purpose, you've got the enjoyment, you've got the goal, you've got the gear. Now, when do you actually like start this thing? Because it's coming up quick, right?
Yeah. I fly out on the 25th of February, and so a few weeks, and then I'm gonna be starting out on the 26th. So like I'm staying at a nearby place, and then I'm going to start the trail on the 26th of February. And yeah, and then I'm just off.
Awesome, awesome. I can't believe it's here. I'm like, we were just talking. We were having a great time like back in November, and
Yeah.
and the mass whole Zoom call, and we were having a good time. We're breaking it up, and all of a sudden, Sarah says, "I'm doing the Appalachian Trail," and I'm like, "What?" And we're all like, "What?"
Surprise.
And she was giving live demos of all her stuff. And speaking, oh, we forgot one thing to talk about, didn't we, Sarah?
What's that?
The tool. You have a knife. I've got a
Oh
knife.
yeah, yeah, the knife. Yeah, yeah.
Tell me about the knife.
I ordered my knife from Finland, and
Get out.
yeah, yeah, it's kind of heavy. It's a full tang, so like the tang goes all the way back, like to the,
Show me your
you know.
knife and I'll show you mine.
All right, that's mine.
This is
That's
mine.
yeah.
So yours is more like a true utility knife, whereas mine's more like a hunting, cutting.
Yeah, yeah. Mine is just kind of an all-purpose. Like it's a
Right,
little
right.
heavy, but it's pretty small. It's like an 85 millimeter blade, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're going to use this to cook with, to, all
Yeah, it's
kinds of stuff.
just yeah, like basically anything I need a knife for, anything I need to cut food and opening packages at the post office to like yeah, anything I need it for.
Awesome, awesome. You start on the 26th. Now, how long do you think it's going to take you to, do this?
Um, I'm hoping 6 months. I'm not the world's fastest hiker. To do it in 6 months, I need to average 12 miles a day, which is not bad. So I'm hoping my goal is to shoot for around 6 months. So end of August would be.
Now, if I remember correctly, the Appalachian Trail does come through the New England area, Massachusetts, correct?
Yes, it does. Yep, it goes through I believe Connecticut, Massachusetts. Of course, it goes through Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. Yeah, it goes through yeah pretty much all of New England except for Rhode Island.
Well, we'll have to see what's going on in the world then. But I can't go with you. I'm living vicariously through her because I've wanted to do this. Um, but definitely when you start hitting Connecticut and get to a stop point, we'll have to meet up. And I'd like to extend this, Sarah, where you're doing this, and if you have cell phone signal or whatever, you can check in with me, and we can kind of update people of how you are. I want to get like a real cheering section behind you as you cross the finish line. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, thank
Awesome.
you.
So you love nature. You got this idea just on a walk. You started walking, and look what happened. And I want to kind of close this down with this thought: is it's too early to tell, but what are you hoping to get out of this experience, or is it just there's the mountain, I'm going to climb it, and that's all I want?
Hmm. I would say I'm looking to just prove to myself that I can do this. A lot of people have said that they kind of doubt that I can, and I want to prove them wrong, but I guess I kind of want to prove to myself that I can do it too. It's a long walk, and I guess I just need a lot of time to be by myself and to think about things and kind of get my thoughts together. And this is probably the best way I can do it.
Well, I hope to be able to be a small part of the journey. We talked about some things we're going to try to do. And for what it's worth, from me, and we've never met in person, but we certainly have talked several times late into the night on Zoom with the other fellow mass holes. If I was a betting man, I would say that, you don't pursue something you're not going to finish one way or the other.
No.
So I'm thinking that, we're going to be on the finish line. And it's my promise to you that, when you cross the finish line, I'm going to do everything I can to be there to, capture that moment if you let me. I think um, it's going to be awesome to see that happen. And the person you are now versus then, as we see you do this, is going to be amazing to see. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. That'd be awesome.
All right, folks. Well, it's February, number 228. And in a couple of weeks, Sara will be embarking on this journey. And, this is just kind of the cool stuff that veterans do. Yes, people, civilian and all walks of life, do the Appalachian Trail, but, you know, um, where some people don't know what veterans are capable of, I've got every confidence you're going to crush this thing, Sara.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome, awesome. So we're winding down number 228. Sara, you've been absolutely fantastic. I really enjoy getting to talk with you. This is not the last time we're going to talk. And as we say in Hawk, Sara, in the Marine Corps, we are missile in flight. Well, in Oscar Mike Radio, we are mission in flight. I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you.